Today, they say it's Alien Invasion Day. What's in your bug out bag? And mine, it's been popcorn all day. And while there hasn't actually been this big invasion that was predicted by a web bot, it doesn't mean that UFOs haven't been seen across the world in the last several days. The news uptick is kind of insane, actually. But unfortunately, as of yet, there is no alien invasion. And what's what needs to be addressed about this, because we're going to be covering a lot of UFO news today that's happened in the last few days internationally, but it's interesting that one person made Alien Invasion Day almost into a holiday. I can't imagine the amount of people that didn't go to work today in hopes of seeing something in the sky. But on the contrary, there truly has been a lot of UFO sightings internationally. And my new website, which is ufonews.co, is an aggregate of UFO news from around the world, keeping you and me up to date on what's going on. So I highly recommend that you bookmark it and visit it daily for all the articles that have been written about UFOs across platforms. That link is in the description box below. But we gotta talk about and we gotta know what's going on? How did this happen? Who is the person that brought it forward? And this guy right here, Cliff High, he is a data analyst who makes predictions based on what he calls predictive linguistics. And he analyzes large amounts of online text data to identify trends and patterns that he believes can forecast future events. This was originally developed back in 1997, which predicted President-elect Donald Trump to win the elections in 2016, and then Joe Rogan having Trump on, and then now this alleged supposed alien invasion. Now these web bots, they monitor news articles, blogs, and forums, and then they make these predictions. So he's gotten some things right, but as for the maybe the most exciting one, we haven't seen anything yet in this ginormous mass scale. But there's something that was pretty crazy that took place rather recently, and that is according to NBC News, and you want to listen to this. Federal authorities have launched an investigation into a series of mysterious, quote, drones sightings that have left residents in New Jersey and the communities on the edge just in absolute awe. There have been multiple witnesses that have reported observing unusually large, quote, drones that have been conducting nighttime flights over residential areas. And it seems like the term drones is the new swamp gas. It's the new weather balloon. And this is one still image of one of several videos. And I get it. It kind of, I see the airplane shape, I know. But there are other videos that kind of like, I don't know, it looks kind of odd. And I'm going to share my screen here on one of them. It's going to be in regular speed and then in slow-mo as well. And then I'm going to continue reading you this information because this UFO sightings, it's like a UFO flap, has been reported by multiple news outlets. One of the main ones being NBC News, another one being Pix 11, which is a local news station in New Jersey. And these residents have described this kind of unsettling pattern of behavior with these objects maintaining a persistent presence throughout the night hours. And one witness reported observing the aircraft from 2 a.m. until sunrise. So we're looking at 3.5 hours, noting that these objects appear to follow this consistent pattern of seeing it during that time frame every single day, and then returning to their original direction as daylight approached. And perhaps most notably, observers have documented these objects flying in V formation, kind of like the Phoenix Lights, with multiple aircraft visible in the night sky simultaneously. This is something that's come to a lot of people's minds, is the Phoenix Lights, even the TR-3B as well. And then, of course, the answers that we're getting here are drones. There haven't been any official explanations on what's being seen, but these reporters in that area have spoken to multiple witnesses that have stated that they've been seeing these things in the sky for weeks. There was one interesting interview that I saw on Pix 11. I'm going to play this video again for you. That there was this woman who goes out every day, watches the sky like any normal person would, and she had noticed that during the night hours, she was seeing these strange, quote, drones in the sky, no sound, nothing, but these odd flashing lights. And she had mentioned that in the daytime, they're not getting the same amount of airplane traffic as they usually do. And I don't know the correlation between the two. That's for you to make up your own mind. But she had mentioned that, and she was pretty persistent on that information that I thought, definitely worth sharing. But it only gets more bizarre because here's the biggest takeaway from this is if it's an airplane, if it's a drone, why is the FBI getting involved? Yes, the FBI has put their foot in this and they're like, oh my goodness, there is something to this and we must observe. We must know what is going on. So I feel like that does add a level of intrigue here of, okay, if it's airplanes, if it's drones, FBI, what you doing? Why are you here, right? There's always going to be that narrative of foreign adversaries. Is it China? Is it Russia? Especially in the heat that we are in right now. I get that. But this has been going on for a few weeks, according to these local New Jersey residents. Have also been seen in New York as well. Have you seen this? Have you come across this in the news? And if you haven't, I'm telling you, bookmark ufonews.co to stay up to date on all of the UFO information that is coming out. Do it right now. It's worth it. My website just launched a few days ago and it's like showing you my newborn child. It's just so exciting. Here's another image, like a still from one of the videos of these New Jersey sightings. If they want to take their time. Thank you. There it is. We got one image here. I know it looks like an airplane. This one, not so much. And there's more information to this because the FBI's involvement in the investigation stems from their jurisdiction over airspace violations, particularly given the strategic significance of the affected area. Bum, bum, bum. Right? It's not shocking, but it is kind of shocking, right? And Daniel's asking a serious question. Where are they coming from? That's what we all want to know. Where are they coming from? Where are they going? Why are they being seen consistently? And they're usually only being seen at night, not in the daytime. By the locals in New Jersey that have come forward to news outlets to tell their stories and their sightings. Thank you, Joe. Right, Chris? Dang, forget about the jetpack miners. I know, right? And for those that aren't familiar with that, it has to do with the Peruvian sightings. Was what, last year now? Can you believe that? Or early this year? And that was the explanation for these strange things that were being seen was, oh guys, come on. It's jet people in jetpacks. We get all the strange explanations. And this year they only get more bizarre. I'm kind of actually missing the swamp gas explanation because that one is just so easy to brush off, right? Same with the jetpack miners, but now we're getting drones. Every headline is drone seen in New Jersey. Wow. It's not UFOs. It's not UAP. But despite the concerning nature of these unidentified aircraft, officials have emphasized that there is no current indication of any direct threat to public safety. How many times have we heard this? Too many times to count in the last several weeks. Because there have been alleged drone sightings over military bases in England, military bases here in the US, Langley Air Force Base, right? And just one of them. And we're getting the same explanation of, oh, they're not posing a threat. They're just kind of hovering, minding their own business, having a good time. And for those that are new, hello, welcome, subscribe if you haven't already, as we always do UFO news, updates, and case studies right here. But something that is worth mentioning is these drones that are being seen over military facilities, they can't be shot down. There's a lot of rules, there's a lot of laws behind it. It can create war. There could be weapons on these drones that could create huge issues, right? it's also kind of paradoxical in some ways. So if these drones or objects do not pose a threat, the people on the ground can't do anything about them, which sucks. That's that's the only word in my vocabulary that I can use for that one. It's disappointing, but it is what it is for that. And Jay Flower is asking, why is Arrow not saying anything? I am with you on that one. They are meant to be this UFO office, meant to be super transparent, be knowing what the people want, right? That's the narrative that they give. But according to the last congressional hearing that we received, Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet, who's one of the panelists for the UFO witness hearing, had mentioned that when he had spoken to Arrow, the team was really trying to tell Tim Gallaudet that what he saw was conventional, was explanational, and it wasn't anything extraordinary, which to me sounds like a Project Blue Book 2.0. We haven't gotten far with this topic and the government, but I've said this 1,000 times and I'll say it again. Disclosure will not come from the government. It will come from the people. It'll come from sightings. Some people need that validation from the government. But if you've had your own sighting, that's disclosure for you. We've heard that so many times. And I'm going to keep saying it over and over again because I think it's that important. But unlike any celebrity, podcast, YouTuber, whatever, government does have the biggest audience. They do have the most influence over people. So them just talking about it, it allows people to say, oh my gosh, there's something to it. I can now finally talk about my own experience and not be so scared because of the stigma. And then they come to places like this where they can be a part of a community and feel more welcomed and more secure to share their experiences or to give themselves validation on what they saw and what they experienced. But there's more. There is so much more to these UFO sightings that have been seen internationally. We're going to jump on over to the UK. There it is. This is in Greater Manchester, and this was a sighting that took place on November 29th, just a few days ago, because according to the Bolton News, there was this mysterious aerial sighting occurred in Sharpless, Greater Manchester on Friday, November 29th, when a 39-year-old Paulina, last name excluded, observed two blue lights hovering above her garden at approximately 9:45 p.m. And she witnessed them from her home on Thornham Drive and captured a picture that we're seeing here of the phenomenon with her own children as well. So there were other witnesses. And according to Paulina, the lights, which remained visible for about 10 minutes, moved slowly rightward before flickering out, making no sound and producing no laser beams. She says here, it wasn't lasers, there were no beams, nothing like that, no trail of any beams. It's so strange. I've never seen anything like this. It looks like a spaceship. Bum, bum, bum. To me, in this image, I hate to be like a Debbie Downer here, but it's kind of giving me like the Batman signal. That's kind of how it looks, and it's so unfortunate in 2024 when people see something crazy in the sky and they can see some more definite features with their own eyeballs. Their phones take the worst photos you could ever imagine, and there are theories behind that. Are there potential force fields over these craft, over these objects, to where our digital cameras simply can't take good photos? Because in the 60s and 70s, you see some pretty defined shaped craft of saucers, of what we classified as hat shaped, and those were amazing, right? Today we get these blobs, these orbs, and that's about it. However, there have been people have commented that there's actually hundreds, if not thousands, of very well taken photos and videos of these craft that have been collected by the military. And I'm referring to the Immaculate Constellation that was released by Michael Schellenberger. But we haven't seen any of those images. We haven't seen any of those videos. Instead, we get like the worst things you could ever imagine for a picture, for a video. And I'm like, it's a little deflating for a lot of people, myself included from time to time. But what's important here are these witness testimonies, what these people are seeing and experiencing, especially in today's age where we're very familiar with the UFO phenomenon. It's a lot more easily spoken about, and the majority of people know what a drone looks like and a balloon and so on and so forth. So, while this image is really not ideal by any means, it's interesting to see and to hear what Paulina had to say about this, because there have been similar lights that have been spotted across Greater Manchester and London, and even the New York Rail have been contacted regarding potential railway um, tampering machines that use lasers. And Paulina noted that the nearest train station was only 4 miles away and not in the direction of these sightings, which is like, okay, it's not the train, it's not the railway, it can't be any of that because in the opposite direction, guys. What I'm seeing, it's something that I simply can't explain. So she dismissed suggestions of party lights due to the absence of music and ruled out the northern lights as well, expressing her desire for a public explanation of the unidentified phenomenon. I would like to see England to address this with their UFO office. Canada is meant to be giving us one by the end of the year, but I have heard no information from the Canada Sky Project, which is very similar to the Aero office that we have here in the United States. Canada has been stating, oh, guys, we are so excited to give you our report in the fall or the winter of 2024. You're going to absolutely love it. And they haven't given it to us, and they haven't said sorry about it either for their delay. Where are the Canadian manners here? It's crickets over there when it comes to their UFO research. Canada, get it together. And England, the UK, you as well. Give us some. Give us something. But there's something else that's pretty interesting. I really enjoy getting emails and comments and DMs from you from sightings that you've had. Especially if you have a video or a photograph to share with me, I always enjoy getting them. And while I can't be as fast to give a response, they're in my archives. And you can email me at Christina@strangeparadigms.com. That link is in the description box below. But I received an email a few days ago by the name of Paul S. We're gonna exclude his last name. And he told me, he was like, remember that report that you gave last week talking about these UFO sightings being seen over these American British military installations? I'm like, yes, of course I remember. It's hitting the news all over the place. He had told me that when he was driving in and around that area where all these bases are, because they're very close to one another, he saw a UFO. Him and his daughter. They recorded it, and it was these odd lights in the sky right over these military installations. And I thought it just adds more credence to the things that we're reading on the news. I love talking about this with you guys. It's so much fun to me. I think you like it because you're watching it right here, right now. Many are subscribed here. And I say thank you to everyone watching this live. Hit that like button right down below. Nicholas, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. Michael as well. Stephen, thank you so much for the $49.99 super sticker. Thank you. That's very nice. Ulf has been a member for 15 months and a Patreon. You're awesome. It says soon midnight in Sweden, but sadly no alien invasion yet. Well, when it happens, you know how to contact me. That's my email. And Dan, thank you so much for the 19.99 pounds. It says, hi, Christina, off topic here, but I feel compelled to say that, oh, well, thank you. That is very nice of you. And David, thank you so much for the $10 super chat as well. I really appreciate it. This is one of the best ways to support the channel and to allow us to do all these live shows and pre-recorded shows, because it gets things going over here. So thank you so much for that. But if you can't do a super chat or a super sticker, just hitting that like button and sharing these videos also makes a very big difference. And Brian, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says congratulations on the 80K subscribers on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you guys that are always here, always supportive, always commenting and sharing. It's a group effort, and so I appreciate every single one of you that watch this stuff. And also on podcasts as well. You're also just as awesome. Now we're getting on over. We're getting on over to Texas. Texas has had a lot of UFO sightings across its history. But recently, we're seeing more strange stuff. And I actually got to back up. I have one more. I have one more thing for the UK. For all of my UKers. This one's for you. Because here's a screenshot of the group UFOs sightings in the UK. It's a Facebook group, and someone had posted these strange pictures. I'm gonna share another image of a closer shot, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of background information on it because this was taken on November 30th of 2024, so just a few days ago, in Margate. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. It sounded so American. In Margate, maybe it's Margat. Someone's going to correct me. And it's a few miles off the coast in the North Sea. And people are asking, is it a drone? Is this near a military installation? Or is it a drone that have been seen over military installations? Excuse me. It's this particular image is odd looking. We are seeing, a more conventional shape that humans make, this kind of triangular shape, but these lights at the bottom. I have not seen an object like this casually in the sky. Something worth mentioning that we've heard, it's rumored, but there could be some merit behind it, is that the technology that we have now is about 20, 30 years behind what is being created behind the scenes by the military, these black projects. Take it or leave it. So could this be a black project, or is it an actual UFO, maybe extraterrestrial, right? Putting it out there only because it was seen a few days ago. This last week has been intense, not only with UFO sightings, but if we go back 2 weeks, just UFO news, the congressional hearing, the Arrow report, the Arrow hearing. It's odd that we're getting it all near the very end of the year. Santa came early this year for us when it comes to UFO news and UFO excitement. So thank you, Santa Claus. Now bring on a little bit of snow, maybe some chocolates as well. That'd be nice. But aside from that, it's pretty heavy over here and saturated with UFO news. Jane's Coffee, thank you so much for the $14.99 super sticker. Y'all are so nice. Thank you. Marty says Santa Claus is an ET. What? How can he be? He lives in the North Pole and he's jolly and he eats cookies. How can he be ET? Someone fill in the gaps for me there. D Contra says looks like a manta ray. It does. Okay. Let's dive a little bit deeper into that just for a moment. This is a great point. There have been conversations of strange extraterrestrial craft that are manta ray shaped. This was spoken about, I want to say in the last year or so. It's been a bit more of a prevalent conversational piece. So could that be what we're looking at here? People that have mentioned, oh my gosh, I saw this manta ray craft in the sky. Are they referring to this shape with these strange lights in the sky, like the lights under the craft in the sky? It's a possibility. This image also kind of looks like a Demogorgon from Stranger Things. This is the mouth area with all of its scary teeth ready just to swallow you up. I also thought of that when I saw this. But with all the things that we're seeing, that we're hearing, and that we're reading, we need to remain skeptical. We have to ask ourselves, okay, does it check off the boxes on all of the mundane things? Is it an airplane? No. Is it a drone? No. Is it so on and so forth? Once all those boxes are checked off, then we say, okay, now what can it be if it's not any of these conventional, mundane explanations? I love doing this. I like doing it with you. So much more fun. Let's see. And hello to everyone watching this live. Hi, Super Yacht Sale. Nice name. Yachts are cool. Marcus says, makes sense, right? Glad you see it too. Now we're moving on over to Texas. We took a little detour, but for all of my Texans out there, you're a rather big state. You're the Lone Star State. Everything's bigger in Texas, and you have a lot of UFO sightings, and this weekend was no exception. According to the Lone Star Live News, Over the Thanksgiving weekend, multiple UFO sightings have been reported across Texas, both from locals and from pilots. We love hearing reports from pilots, right? It's like one of my favorite things. Pilot reports. So these UFOs have been seen in pretty populated areas, including Dallas, Galveston, and Houston, and they've documented these unusual lights in the sky, along with similar reports from North Carolina and Arizona as well. I'm going to share a video here that I have for you of one that was posted online by a TikToker. And I know people are like, "Ugh, TikTok." It's become such a place to get news from time to time. Don't knock it till you try it. And a lot of news outlets are surprisingly um sourcing TikTok, which like you, I find kind of skeptical, but watch this anyway. Make up your own mind on what you think. And for those listening to this on a podcast platform, that YouTube link is in the description box below. But this TikTok video came from Galveston, Texas. But there are others from Dallas that had captured these three bright lights near the international airport, the Dallas International Airport, on November 30th. And the witness stated, I've lived here my entire life and I've never seen anything like this. They would disappear and reappear in different formations. And then the phenomenon continued through December 1st that we're seeing right here, with the Galveston resident reported observing at least 15 bright lights at varying heights over the Gulf of Mexico. That's where Galveston is. Then, of course, you have a Northwest Houston resident also recorded 3 white lights and orange lights forming a triangle at 7 p.m. during that same time frame. I would have wished to have heard more UFO sightings from these very populated areas, but we're only getting a handful of them. But there's more. I have more for you. Because now we're going to bring up the pilots. People are like, those on TikTok, how are they credible? What credible evidence do they have? Then we bring in pilots and military officials, and people's ears are like, what? What did you say? Pilot? I must hear. And I'm like, I get it. Same. So I'm going to share this image that was taken by a pilot. Here it is. Here's a still image. And it was on approach to the Dallas Fort Worth airport. And this airline pilot reported an unusual aerial phenomenon that was later shared through the VAS Aviation's YouTube channel, which features air traffic control communications. And according to the pilot's direct account, while cruising at 34,000 feet, they observed 2 lights in formation that exhibited, take a guess, unusual behavior, repeatedly becoming extremely bright before quickly fading away. And these lights maintained a consistent position at the pilot's 1 to 2 o'clock for approximately 250 miles and were positioned notably higher than the aircraft's altitude. In the air traffic control audio recording, the pilot described the object as, quote, kind of jogging back and forth, left and right, for about 30 minutes. And the pilot initially considered the possibility of satellites, but then dismissed this explanation due to the light's sustained proximity and formation movements and unusual brightness patterns, because these pilots see satellites on the daily. They know what's up. And they're like, guys, what I just saw, they're not satellites. It's not Starlink. They're very strange. And again, this entire communication is on the VAS Aviation's YouTube channel. I highly recommend that you listen to it. I will place that link in the description box below for you once this live show is over, because you hear this genuine curiosity of like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you know what's going on? Air traffic control tower, can I have an explanation? And they're like, I don't know what to tell you. Just keep on going and doing your thing. And we've heard that a few times. We have. I've done a whole entire show on UFOs over airports. I've done a whole show on pilots seeing UFOs, some of which I have shared. Air traffic control communication. You can find that all right here on this channel, along with UFO updates, UFO news, and UFO case studies. So if you haven't subscribed, do so already and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on what's going on here. And then bookmark ufonews.co. I got one last thing for you. Just one more case. This one was reported on NICAP, and I don't have an image here because they didn't give us one, so they're just gonna see my face here. But this was reported near Kansas City, Missouri, on November 21st, 2024, at 10:25 p.m. by what it's classified in the report as a military service member. Now, anyone can put any information that they want, but it says here military. I'm like, okay, let's continue onward. And the witness, name unknown, described a large V-shaped or chevron craft with 3 to 4 white lights on each leg, moving silently and rapidly from north to south at a high altitude with an approximate 60-degree elevation. And then the object traversed the entire visible sky in just 10 seconds. Not a drone, not an airplane to me, right? And it was notably larger than any known commercial or military aircraft, and it displayed no blinking lights or visible fuselage. Anything that we see in the sky that is created by man should have blinking lights that protects them, that protects us, it protects everything, right? Your airplanes, your drones, your helicopters have flashing lights, usually in green, in red, and white, sometimes blue, depending on where you're looking. In this case, for this sighting, there were no flashing lights. Take it or leave it. I found that one very, very interesting. But can I just state this? Can we just have one day to ourselves? Today was meant to be Alien Invasion Day, but instead, everyone's looking in the other direction for the Hunter Biden pardon. We cannot have one day to ourselves. Last year, during the UFO witness hearing in July of 2023, where David Grush was like, non-human biologics, there was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard hearing. So everyone was looking over there instead of the hearing. Then the one that we got just a few weeks ago with Tim Gallaudet, Lou Elizondo, and so on, Trump and Biden were having a meeting at the White House. Everyone was looking over there, and today is no exception. Why can't we have just one day to ourselves to appreciate this topic? I want to make a complaint to somebody. I don't know who. I'm just like, guys, I'm not asking for a week. I'm not asking for a month. Just one day. Give us one. But no, we can't have nice things. But Swamp Gas Jenkins is optimistic, stating the day isn't over. It depends on what part of the world you're in, but I see what you mean. I got my lawn chair ready, sitting, looking at the sky, popcorn, maybe some tacos because it's Taco Tuesday, and a cup of coffee to keep me up and alive. I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm optimistic, just like you. I'm excited, just like you. And just having the ability to talk about this, one person, Cliff High, made this into this international event. Everyone's looking up into the sky, and I'm loving it. I'm also thinking, how did you do that? How did you get the internet to go on the bandwagon with you? How many of you didn't go to work today in hopes for Alien Invasion Day? I want to know the honest truth. I want to see it in the live chat. I want to see it in the comments. Did you or did you not go to work today? Let's see. Because if I didn't have to, I wouldn't have. But we can't always have nice things. Let's see. Tina says, I stayed home. Nice. I mean, who doesn't want to stay home to begin with, right? Mr. Foley says, it's my Saturday, so no. Let's see. Dickie says, I'm at work. So you didn't ditch work today? I'm here at work, says Steven. Jeez. Many people went. Colin says, no, I got ready for it. Now, Stargazer says, I worked hard yesterday to compensate for today, right? That is all the news that we have for today. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button right down below and comment your thoughts on the cases that we covered right here. Be safe and remember, keep your eyes on the skies. If you enjoy the strange and the mysterious, UFOs, the paranormal, and cryptids, this channel is for you. So make sure to subscribe as I do 3 videos right here every single week, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of the bonus content I post right here.